All right, so this is going to be pretty short. We're only going to do a couple examples. I'll finish it up tomorrow after the quiz. So we're going to solve equations. We're going to solve for x, solve for y. When I think of algebra, that's like the main thing I think of when I think of algebra is solving for x. Wouldn't you agree with that? If you had to sum up as short as you can algebra, what would you say? Probably solve for stuff, right? Solve for x, solve for y. That's mainly the gist of algebra. Mainly, there's a whole bunch of other stuff too, but that's kind of what I think of. Let's just do an example. Since this is Algebra 2, this stuff we're doing today, I mean, everything we've done so far is basically Algebra 1. We've really not done any Algebra 2. We will eventually, don't you worry, all right? But enjoy this while it lasts, okay? So it says solve this time. This is the first time where it said to solve for something. And so you can just solve for the variable. On these are single variables. They only give you one variable, so there's no doubt on what you're trying to solve for. Later on in this course, we're going to do multivariable equations, but not today. All right, what if we had something like this? Again, this should just be review, I hope, for you from Algebra 1. So what are we solving for, first of all? X and y. Where's a y? Okay, solve for x. We're going to solve for x. So we need to get rid of everything except for the x. So what do we get rid of first? In this case, we get rid of the 12. It's being added to it, right? So we get rid of the addition before we get rid of anything that's being multiplied or divided. Well, actually, if that whole thing was divided by something, we would get rid of that first. But in this situation, we get rid of the 12 before we get rid of the 5. So how do we get rid of something? How do I move it from one side to the other side? In this case, I subtract. But generally, I always do the opposite. Or what's a better math word? The inverse, right? We do the inverse of the operation. So what is the inverse or the opposite of adding a 12? Minus a 12, subtract a 12, okay? So I put it right under here like this. This is the way you should do it. Was it in this class or was another class people were writing above the thing? Yeah, I think it was my college algebra class. Somebody put minus 12 above it. Why would you do that? I've never seen that before. It just, to me, that's just kind of strange. I would put it below, all right? Always work below. Now, I have seen people go off to the side, work from left to right. I would work from top down, all right? To me, that's the easiest way to do it. So try to do it the way I've done it, all right? You haven't done algebra near as long as I have, okay? I know the best way for you to do it. So follow me, all right? So work up and down, all right? So we subtract the 12 from both sides. What does that do for us? We always say it cancels out, but technically what's it doing? It's adding up to what? To 0, right? So technically it adds up to 0, but we can say cancel out. I'm fine if you say cancel. So we bring down the 5x, bring down the equal sign, and we do this math. It's negative 18 minus 12. Can you do that in your head? Negative 30, right? And you should be able to at this point, in Algebra 2, should be able to do that in your head. One more step and we're finished. We got to get x by itself. What's that 5 doing to that x? What operation? It's timesing, isn't it? It's multiplying. How do I get rid of something that's being multiplied? Divide it, okay? Do the inverse operation. The inverse or the opposite of multiplication is division. So I divide by 5. Don't divide by 5x. I've seen lots of students do that, all right? You don't want to get rid of the x. You want the x to stay there. You just want to get rid of the 5. So don't divide by 5x. Just divide by what? 5. Divide by 5. That cancels out. Now, this doesn't add up to 0, though. What happens here? It's 5 over 5. What does it become? It's a 1. Okay? 5 over 5 becomes a 1, and it's 1 times x, which is 1 times x is 6. Is that what you said? No. You're not answering my question. You're getting ahead of me. What is 1 times x? X. Now, you can do this. And it's not 6. What is it? It's negative 6. And then that's your answer. I took way too long for an Algebra 2 class to explain that problem. That should have been boom. Wouldn't you agree? It's not your fault. It's just I just took my time. That's my fault. Let's do another one. We'll go a little faster. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page on this. This is example 2. And we will stop at example 2 because the bell's going to ring maybe halfway through this problem. So all the stuff that we've been doing so far, you're going to use before you even think about solving for x. The distributive property, order of operations, all that stuff, okay? So let's do this. When's this? 5 after? Is that what you said?
Yes.
12:05. Okay, I got 2 minutes. Here we go. Ready? Distribute the negative 3. So I get negative 3x minus 6. Distribute the 4 through the parentheses. I get a 4x plus, what's that, 36, 72? And then you got a minus 1 right there. You might as well just fix this, right? Yeah, so that'll be a 71. And now I'm going to put the x's on the same side. On the other problem, I put it on the left side. You don't have to. Here's what my preference would be. There's a couple ways you could do this, but here's my preference. I would add a 3x to both sides. Why would I do that? Why would I put it on the right? Because to keep it positive, it just makes it a little bit easier to deal with, okay? I could have subtracted a 4x, but then I'd have a negative 7x, but that's okay. So now I took my x to the right side. Let's get rid of that 71. Subtract a 71 from both sides, and then let's do this. Add up all the columns, so that's a 0. It cancels out. This is a negative 77. This cancels, and this is a what? 7x. Almost done. Divide by 7. X equals negative 11. Now look, on a homework, on a quiz, on a test, I need to see all those steps. Do not do this. Let's say that's number 1 on your homework. You're not just going to say negative 11. Okay, if I see your homework and I see, and you have to show your work with all these, and all you put is negative 11, you're not going to get credit. Everybody understand that, right? I need to see how you got. I need to see how. How did you get this? This is how I got it. Nope. I want it like this. I don't want one column for answers because I don't check your answers. I want to see your problem and I want to see your answer next to it and circle it. This right here is how I want you to do your problems. Everybody understand that?
Okay.
This is the best way to do it. I promise. All right? All right, we'll continue that tomorrow after the quiz. Remember, quiz tomorrow, section 1.1 to 1.3.